What's up, guys? D-Rock 1992 here. The next actor that I'm going to be talking about in my brand new series, the third actor, is Tom Hanks. The great Tom Hanks. Two-time Academy Award winner, Tom Hanks. The guy is one of the greatest actors of our generation, one of the greatest actors of all time, I would argue. He is just... He is the greatest, and I'll get right into his. I'm going to get right into his film career because that's what he's known for. A few TV appearances and all that, but his movie career definitely well known for that. So Tom Hanks' first movie was a slasher film, a slasher horror film called He Knows You're Alone. I doubt any of you would know what that movie was. I think it was a very small movie in a way, but yeah, that's his first movie. In 1984, he starred in a couple good comedies that really told people, okay, here's Tom Hanks. Okay, here's this guy named Tom Hanks. Let's go into the movies. In 1984, he is in the movie called Splash. He stars in this movie with John Candy. And I know this movie's about mermaids. This mermaid woman or something like that. I've never watched the movie myself, but it's one of Hanks' more memorable films. Also, another one, the other comedy film in 1984 was Bachelor Party. Bachelor Party, a movie where a young man, I think he wants to commit suicide or something like that. He has his own little bachelor party in some way. I don't really know. I've never watched the movie, but yeah, there's a lot of Tom Hanks movies I haven't watched. That I'm looking to watch definitely at some point. But excuse that there. That's just the phone ringing. But 1984, a year that introduced Tom Hanks to the movie public. 1985, another couple movies. The Man with One Red Shoe and Volunteers is a couple other ones. 1986, he starred in The Money Pit. I've never watched the movie before, so I can't tell you the plot of the movie. But that's that. 1987, he stars in a remake of the TV series Dragnet. The movie called Dragnet. And I think that movie wasn't very greatly received, but Dragnet definitely 1987. 1988 was the year, though. Tom Hanks really broke through with the movie Big. And this is a movie I really do want to see, but I do know that he's an adult in the movie and he changes, he turns into a kid, basically. He's an adult and then he's a kid in this movie. Something about a birthday or something like that. But there's one memorable scene in the movie where he's playing a huge piano with his feet. I don't know a ton about this movie because I've never watched it. But Big is definitely one of Tom Hanks' more memorable roles, for sure. The next year, 1989, he stars in Turner and Hooch. And Turner and Hooch is actually the earliest Tom Hanks movie that I've seen. Turner and Hooch, I think, was a TV series. I'm not really sure. No. Oh, okay, there was a pilot for a TV series after the movie that was made and ran as a part of the Magical World of Disney. So Tom Hanks starred in. For those of you who don't know, Turner and Hooch is a comedy where Tom Hanks plays Turner, and then a dog. The dog's name is Beasley. The dog plays Hooch, and it's a buddy comedy with Tom Hanks and the dog as buddies on the police force. And it is the earliest Tom Hanks movie that I've watched as well. In 1992, another big movie for Tom Hanks, A League of Their Own. 1992 was really the year, the start of something great for Tom Hanks. He started out with A League of Their Own. I've seen parts of the movie, most of it, but he is a baseball manager who, I think he gets fired from the men's baseball, Major League Baseball. He's a former Major League Baseball manager who, during World War II, speaking of World War II, you will find a lot of Tom Hanks movies that are about World War II. I think it's a subject he's very interested in, himself as an actor. But A League of Their Own is where he joins this girls' league as a manager of one of the teams. Gina Davis is in this movie. Madonna is in this movie. Rosie O'Donnell is in this movie. And definitely another famous Tom Hanks role. 1993, a big year for Tom Hanks. Sleepless in Seattle, one of those romantic comedy type films that he did with Meg Ryan. There's also You've Got Mail, and I think an earlier film, too, he did with Meg Ryan. But I think 3 collaborations with her. But, the other movie, his first Academy Award win, came for Philadelphia, where he is a gay man who is unjustly fired from his job because actually he has AIDS. It's discovered that he has AIDS, and I think he's fired from his job because he has AIDS or something like that. And Denzel Washington also is in this movie, and he plays the lawyer who defends this guy. And let me see here. Yes, it definitely is about... Philadelphia is one of the prominent movies, is a very prominent movie because it's one of the first ones to really address AIDS, homosexuality, and all that certain type of thing. It acknowledges HIV/AIDS, homosexuality, and then homophobia. It's one of the first, and it's definitely a landmark film because of that. And it got Tom Hanks an Academy Award win. The next year, he comes out with arguably his most famous movie. This is a movie I watched once. It took me a while to watch it, but I eventually did. Forrest Gump. This movie is where Forrest Gump has an IQ just above, well, at the time they called it mental retardation. It's where you had an IQ below 70, but he had an IQ of 75, so he was barely ahead of that. You call it intellectually impaired now, but Forrest Gump, a man of little intelligence, does great things, is basically the gist of the movie. He gets awarded a Purple Heart in Vietnam. He's an expert ping pong player. He goes on a 3-year run. It's just very memorable. And I'm not going to lie, the end of that movie almost made me cry. It was so emotional. I mean, Forrest Gump is a comedy, but it also is a big drama. And you really see Now, Tom Hanks really started his career as a comedian. I don't think a lot of people know that. I don't think a lot of people are aware of the fact that he was a comedian when he started out. And there's a TV series that he appeared in that I'll talk about later that was a comedy series. But now, I mean, you really know Tom Hanks for drama movies. For those drama-type movies and all that. But he was a comedy man coming up. The next year after, actually, Forrest Gump, I'm not going to forget this. Forrest Gump is his second straight Academy Award win for Best Actor. For Best Actor. And he is only one of two actors who've won back-to-back Academy Awards for Best Actor. The other guy was a man named Spencer Tracy, who won in 1937 and 1938, I believe it was. But two straight Academy Award wins proves Hanks' dominance. But that's not all. He's not done yet. Nearly not done yet. 1995, a huge year for him. He comes out with Apollo 13. About the Apollo missions in the 70s, 60s, something like that. This is a space mission story. And there's a few other famous actors in that movie, but a very famous movie for him. Very famous movie because it has Tom Hanks in it. 1995, Toy Story comes out. I believe the first animated Pixar film. I believe so. It's a buddy comedy adventure film. It is the first feature-length computer animated film and the first theatrical film produced by Pixar. A landmark movie. Absolutely landmark. Obviously, as you well know, he plays Woody. Sheriff Woody the cowboy. And this movie is about friendship, basically. It's about friendship. It's about togetherness. It's about that kind of thing. It's an emotional movie. It's a comedy. It is a great children's film. A great family film. It's for all ages. I mean, kids love it, but also adults love it too. And you can't help but love it. I mean, it's just one of those movies, for sure. I have vivid memories of Toy Story. I grew up on Toy Story. So that definitely, it holds a special place in my heart. For sure. Obviously, there's some other ones. Buzz Lightyear, played by Tim Allen. John Ratzenberger plays the pig. The pig, and I'm going to look it up because I cannot remember what the name is. The pig's name is Ham. Ham's the name. But Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are the big actors in that animated movie. 1998, Tom Hanks comes out with a World War II drama. Nothing like Toy Story, let's put it that way. Saving Private Ryan. You watch the first 25 minutes of this movie, and it is blood, violence, and gore all the way. Wow. And it's awesome, too. I mean, I've watched this movie before. I watched it once. And first 25 minutes when they're going up to... They're part of the D-Day operation of June 6, 1944. The D-Day operation in World War II. Blood and gore. It really details the battle. This is a movie directed by Steven Spielberg, and Tom Hanks a frequent collaborator with Steven Spielberg. Saving Private Ryan is actually where Tom Hanks is this colonel, I think, and his men, he and his men are assigned to find this Private Ryan, who's played by Matt Damon, another guy who I'm going to be talking about probably in the actor series at some point. They have to save this guy. 3 of his brothers were killed. They want to save this guy before 4 of the brothers are killed. So that's the basic gist, and it's World War II, definitely. 1998 also, he came out with You've Got Mail, like I said before, another collaboration with Meg Ryan. 1999, another big year for Tom Hanks. Toy Story 2, the sequel. This is where Woody is kidnapped by a toy collector, and Buzz Lightyear and his friends have to go save him, basically. This is another movie about friendship. This is obviously a movie about togetherness. This is a movie. Toy Story 2 is as memorable as Toy Story, for sure. I mean, just a great movie. And also in 1999, he comes out with another big movie, The Green Mile. This is one I've seen little parts of before, but I've never seen the whole movie. It's with him and Michael Clarke Duncan. And in this movie, Tom Hanks plays a sheriff of a prison who kind of befriends Michael Clarke Duncan's character, a prisoner who is supernatural. He can prevent death or something like that. And it talks about the friendship between them, and he has to kind of prove that Clarke Duncan's character isn't a murderer, basically. He's in prison because of murder, and Tom Hanks' character, he thinks that the guy's innocent, so he has to prove it. 2000. Another big Tom Hanks movie came out, Castaway, where he plays this UPS guy who is stranded on an island, and he befriends a volleyball named Wilson. And he has to survive on this island. This is another movie I want to see. I think he was nominated for this, for the Academy Award, but I can't believe he's won just 2. He should have like 6 or 7 Academy Awards. The guy is so good. In 2002, he comes out with Road to Perdition, a movie that I kind of want to see. He plays a hitman in this movie. I want to see that. But a movie that I have seen that came out the same year was Catch Me If You Can. And he stars in this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And Catch Me If You Can is based on a true story. And Tom Hanks plays FBI agent Carl Hanratty, who has to catch this con artist who is con artist named Frank Abagnale Jr. He has to catch him. I actually just watched it recently, and a great movie, and another collaboration with Steven Spielberg. But it's a cat and mouse game, basically. Abagnale is running from Carl Haggerty. I just said it, Hanratty. And it's the story about that, based on a true story. 2004, he comes out with The Terminal. This is a movie, I think, where he's stranded at an airport. And actually, it's yet another Steven Spielberg movie. And Catherine Zeta-Jones, also a star in this movie. A movie that I'd like to see, definitely, in the future. 2004, this is a movie I actually did see in theaters a while back. It's a voiceover, The Polar Express. He plays, let me see here. 6 different guys in the movie. 6! I mean, that's Tom Hanks right there. I mean, 6 different guys. The conductor, Hero Boy, Father, Scrooge, Santa Claus, and a hobo. I'm looking at that up on Wikipedia, but the Polar Express is animated. I think it's about, from what I remember of it, it's about a little kid who goes on a Polar Express train and goes to the North Pole to visit Santa Claus. In 2006, he comes out with one of his most ambitious films, The Da Vinci Code, which I think is based on a book, if I'm not mistaken. It is... I think, yeah, it is based on a book. But the Da Vinci Code is another movie there that is very ambitious. One that I haven't seen, but I'd like to someday. He starred in... This was only a cameo, but he starred in the Simpsons movie as himself. In the cameo, Hollywood has lost its credibility, and they're trying to take some of Tom Hanks' credibility, because Tom Hanks has been reputed as a very nice actor, a very credible actor. You don't see Tom Hanks in the news for any controversies at all. So that's another reason why Tom Hanks is so appealing. Angels and Demons, 2009. It's the follow-up to the Da Vinci Code. Toy Story 3 comes out in 2010. He plays Sheriff Woody again, and Toy Story 3, it's where Woody has to save his friends from going to a PlayStation, a playhouse, or a daycare center. The toys are all going to a daycare center where they're going to be played with by kids and possibly broken. Broken toys. You know how kids get when they're in a daycare center and they're rough with their toys, basically. This is another movie. And, I mean, all the Toy Story movies are togetherness and friendship. And this one is arguably the saddest, because at the end, when Andy has to say goodbye to... Andy is Woody's owner. Andy has to say goodbye to Woody and all the other toys because he sells them to a little girl. That's the saddest part right there, because you know that's going to end. You know that Andy's a college kid, and he felt an emotional attachment towards these toys that is just... It's not easy to break. I mean, if you ever have, kids out there, they've had the emotional connection with toys. I mean, if you guys ever had emotional connection with toys, you would know, definitely. Toy Story 3 depicts that. I mean, it is so sad at the ending.